They say when you come, feel lock down the street, alright. So we chop it, so we do it. Land down and we a lock down the street. So we chop it, so we do it. They say when you come, feel lock down the street. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune.
Street, alright, so we chop it, so we do it. Land down and we a lock down the street, so we chop it, so we do it. This is when you come for lock down the street. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. The big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune.
rhythm and the groove. Move. Alright, I make me tell you listen. Move. We a dance to the rhythm and the groove. Move. Watch them massive and groove, them a move.
Well, folks, June 14th, 1971, actually. The first Southwest flight was actually flown from Dallas Love over to San Antonio, which started out a major airline. And this little airline almost did not even get airborne. 1966, a man named Roland was his name. It was Roland King. Came into Herb Kelleher at the time was an attorney, and basically his attorney, he was like, for Herb Kelleher was an attorney for small businesses, and Roland King came into Herb Kelleher and said, "Herb, I want to start an airline." And Herb laughed and said, "Roland, you're crazy, let's do it." And that started a relationship, and they knew each other before, but that started a relationship to really kick off Southwest. What's very interesting about this airline was that it took them 4 years to even get going. They almost didn't even make it off the ground, folks. So from 1966 to 1971, Herb Kelleher and the small Southwest Airlines at the time, it wasn't even an airline yet, it was an airline on paper, they didn't even have assets. It took them that long to get airborne because of litigation, non-stop court fees and court proceedings, because 3 airlines did not want Southwest to even make it off the ground. Texas International, Continental, and Braniff all worked together against Southwest. And the reason why this happens, and you can say they first started capital investment, was initially $100,000, and in 1966 that was a lot of money. It was around they had $100,000, $250,000. In 1966 that went a long way. However, all of that money, I think they saved about $500,000, was all gobbled up through court fees. And so this airline, the first day of, I think it was June 14th of 1971, they had 3 aircraft. So they actually, through court proceedings all the way up to the Supreme Court, Herb Kelleher took this thing and fought for this little airline that wasn't even an airline yet. And those big 3 companies said there's not enough room for another airline in the state of Texas. And at that time, there wasn't the FAA, there was the CAB, and even further than that, there was just the TAC, or the TAC, Texas Aeronautical, I think it's Texas Aeronautical, it wasn't control, but it was committee or something like that. And they would approve interstate, not intrastate, but interstate airlines. So only could fly within the borders of Texas. And at the time, this the aviation industry was heavily regulated. So this little airline wasn't even an airline yet, right? It took them 4 years through court proceedings just to get to where they were. And the day that they were supposed to fly, they got 3 737-200s fresh, brand new from Boeing at a cheap rate. I think it was like a $3 million per aircraft. It was initially going for $4 million, but they gave them $1 million off that they bought all 3. So they decided to buy all 3. And the very first day after there was an injunction, a restraining order slapped on Southwest, the day they were supposed to push back, and that's June today. We have it set in the simulator the same exact day that they were supposed to depart. They didn't almost make it. There was a police officer at the airport, and they said, "You can't leave." And Roland called up Herb and said, "Herb,
they slapped a restraining order on us for some stupid reason. And Herb Kelleher marched down to the judge, who he knew, and said, "This is ridiculous." And this is a little bit about Herb. He said, "This is ridiculous. They cannot do this. We won the Supreme Court case, and the judge rejected this restraining order." And then Herb called Roland and said, "Roland, get the airplanes going. We're ready to go." Okay? Essentially paraphrasing what happened. There was a lot of court proceedings before this, but Roland said, "Well, what if the cop tries to stop us?" And then Herb said, "Run the SOB over." So that, it's very important to tee the rest of this series up, because that right there was the catalyst of why Southwest was Southwest. And I'm talking about the early years of Southwest, folks. We're going to look at their entire history, not today, through this whole series we will, but we're going to look at the early years from 1971 to, the early 80s. We'll go for about 10-year, maybe 5-year increments. I'm going to show you a lot of the routes they flew, why they expanded to where they did. But right now, we're taking you back. Now, this is a 737-700 that you see. They didn't get these aircraft till about 1997-ish, 96-ish. However, we don't have a 200 in the sim. Otherwise, I'd be flying a 737-200, which is my favorite airplane, actually. I love it. But we are going to take this aircraft today on their first flight. Now, a lot of people think that it was a triangle. It went from Dallas to Houston to San Antonio back to Dallas. That is not true. Their very first flight, our first schedule in 1971, just went from Dallas to San Antonio and back to Dallas, and then it went from Dallas to Houston and back to Dallas. There was no triangle just yet, just those two lines back and forth, and they flew those with 4 crews. So you'd have an AM shift and a PM shift, and they'd work those crews pretty much all day, back and forth just like that. And what they were trying to do was stimulate the market. At the time, in 1971, a lot of people could not afford to fly. It was too expensive. The rich of the rich could fly at that time. Southwest was like, we're going to compete with buses. We need a long enough route that an airplane would be advantageous to have, but we could compete with buses with ticket pricing. And that's exactly what they did. A flat fee. They said, okay, they did peak hours and off-peak hours. So they wanted to mix leisure travel with business travel. So they would do business travelers were Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to about 8 a.m. And then they would peak off, go off-peak, and then would go leisure travel. And they would adjust the fares that way, but they dropped the fares tremendously. I'm talking $20, from Dallas to San Antonio, one way, $20, $40, you're done, you're there. The other 3 major airlines were in the hundreds, so you can imagine what they thought. They thought that this was going to be an absolute joke of an airline. So that kind of tees up where we're going with this, and the spirit I'm about to talk to you about, the warrior spirit, the initial Southwest. We're not talking about modern day Southwest just yet, but we're talking about the early years. Welcome aboard, folks, to the Flight Sim Broadcasting Network. My name is Jason. I'm going to take you on a journey through this flight on their very first historic flight today. All right, we are going to do it in a 700, but we are going to fly this aircraft just like a 200. No auto throttle, no vertical navigation. Okay, so very, very rudimentary. This is how we used to fly these airplanes, and it was a bear to do so. A lot of work. Let's get in here and do it. Welcome aboard, folks. If you're wondering what we're about, it's 3 things: learning something, having fun, and doing it right. Smash that subscribe button if you learned something already. All right, let's get back in the flight deck here. You can see we're in a cold and dark, and everybody is checking in. Pops is in the house. How are you? Said, hi everyone, hope you're well. Have a great weekend. Curtis, how are you, Curtis? By the way, if you're in the crowd, just say hi. Let me know who you are, how you're doing, and so I can say hi to you. Shelton says, good evening. Here we go, Shelton, with the joke. I hope you're having a great weekend. How do you warn a hockey player that he's about to be in trouble? You're skating on thin ice. That's pretty good. I do like that. Shelton says my first Southwest Airlines flight was from Kansas City to Chicago in 1993. That's awesome. Wait, no HUD? What? What is the world coming to? We are not flying the HUD today. We don't have a HUD on this airplane. So we're going to simulate a 200 as best as we can. I can't, unfortunately, do what I really want to do and go from VOR to VOR to VOR how they used to. Why? Because there's no VORs anymore. There's not a lot of VORs in the United States. They've all gone by the wayside. But I want to know in your comments below, do me a favor, let me know your first impressions of Herb Kelleher. How did he inspire you? He inspired me. He still does inspire me. I try to learn a lot from him if I can. I read a lot of his books. Not his books, he didn't write any, but I really studied that man for a long time. His leadership style, I try to emulate as best I can, and I only can do about that much of it, and that's it, right? So he's a man I admire, I look up to, always have. Just amazing person, and we're going to talk more about him throughout this whole series because that's what this airline was about. And we're going to get into that right now. But right now, we're going to get in here. We've got an airplane to get out off the ground. Welcome aboard. This is going to be a fast flight. Let's get this done. I'm using an old checklist too, folks, a 2011 checklist, so as best I can. And I can't see what we're doing here, so let's go ahead and click this. Nope, let's click that. There we go. All right, let's drop down in here. We got the ground power on, so we're going to go ahead and get that connected. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Let's shut that off. I'm a little bit ahead of the game here. So the first thing we're going to do is the battery switch. Sorry. So bat switch coming on right there. We'll turn the bat on. We're going to take a look. We're drawing 74 amps. That's about right. Then we're going to drop down over here. Landing gear is down and it is green. The parking brake is now on. All right. I'm going to drop up here and we're going to throw the... Now we're going to throw the ground power on. Ground power is coming on. All right, we got power on the aircraft. Let's get some lighting going for us so we can actually see what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and flip this to a line, over to nav. You're going to see on DCs, and they'll flash to a line here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and turn on some lights. We're going to get this on to dim. Remember, first flight for Southwest, 1971. They've already been through a crap ton of litigation. There was a whole thing about why Southwest didn't want to move to DFW, and at the time Dallas-Fort Worth Airport was built, and all of these airlines left Love Field, which we're at right now, and Southwest did not. And very interesting fact here, again, that's where the restraining order came from, is the city of Dallas-Fort Worth wanted Southwest there, and the major carriers wanted them there because they knew if Southwest moved to DFW, they would be bankrupt in like 4 months because the airport is so expensive to operate out. Herb was smarter than that, so was Rollin. They said, no, we're not doing that crap. We're sticking here. We didn't sign any agreement, and therefore we are not going. And that saved the airline. Just that little move saved them. We're going to go ahead and enter the IRS position. Let's click the FMC. You can see what I'm doing. Nav data add a date. That's weird. January 25, February 2022. Just missed it. No, that's good to go. We're February 22, so we're still good. Nav data is not out of date. We're fine there. All right, position and ref. We're going to go ahead and click Dallas. This is Dallas Love. It's brand new scenery, actually. We'll check it out. American and Braniff would have eaten Southwest alive. Yes, they would have completely shellacked them. And that's why they didn't fly. Shelton says the fact that he was willing to take a risk and start an airline from nothing to a huge company is a sign that nothing is impossible to do. And that's true. Herb, and we're going to get into this, Herb Kelleher was their attorney. He wasn't an employee of the airline. He was their counsel. He was an outside counsel. But he fought 4 years in court, this man. 4 years. And that last time, when it went to the Supreme Court, Rollin went up to Herb and he said, Herb, we have no money left. We're bankrupt now. We don't have any money. And Herb was so mad at the injustice that was happening. He said, I'm waiving all attorney fees and court fees I will spend with my own money. Now, I'm sure there was a little bit of put me on as a member of management, and I could do that. I'm sure there was a little bit of that going on, but Herb was the man. He went in there, waived his attorney fees, and paid all the court fees. And then they got a second round of capital funding, which is equivalent today to about $100 million. So Southwest started to about $100 million back in the 60s, 70s. So that's kind of where they started, but they spent $500,000, which was a crap ton of money in the 66. Somebody do a comparison. 1966, how much was $500,000 worth or $200,000 worth in 1966 versus today? I want to see the comparison or the difference between those two. I don't know off the top of my head, but we're going to do this. Okay, we've got Dallas, and we're going to go to San Antonio, which is this is their first flight. I checked their whole route schedule in 1971. This flight took off at 7. The other one took off about 30 minutes later over to Houston. So I'll show you that route too here in another time, but right now that's what we're going to do. All right, so Dallas, San Antonio, company route. We're going to do we're Southwest 530 today. And and the reason why it's usually it would have been like flight 1. Southwest did not have flight numbers. They just had times. It was like a bus schedule, which was interesting, but pretty cool. All right, let's check out our weather here into Dallas. We'll get the weather going, and we're going to get this show on the road. We are on VATSIM, so we've got a VATSIM thing going on. Let me go and connect to the server really quick. And we're SWA 530 today. All right. And you guys are about to have some fun. You're going to watch me struggle flying this airplane old school. Looks like Houston Center's on. Looks like Dallas is on. Looks like we've got a problem. Fort Worth is on. Everybody's on. So tell me it's not Friday night ops here, because I've walked into a firestorm if that's correct. All right. Especially with no rudimentary autopilot, which is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I am. All right, let's do this. 110. It's about 100 degrees at 16. So winds 100 at 16. Visibility is what's gusting 25. So it's going to be a little bit bumpy up there. Visibility is at 10. We got a few clouds at 4,600. Temperature is coming in at 11, and dew point is -1. Altimeter is 3008. Okay. I can run at gate 19 or something like that. Time check. The time right now in Dallas is real time. That is, I'm using real world weather. Just the clock's not right. What are you doing? 0153. Time 0153. I'm just writing all this down. It says 200 grand. Yeah, it was 1.9 million. So 1.9 million, 200,000. You can see that was a lot of money back then. You know what I mean? They started with about 100 mil. Yeah. All right, so let's check this out. We've got runway. We're going to do departing 31 left or right out of Dallas. So looks like 31 left. Probably going to be 31 right, I'm assuming. But they could shoot us over to 31 left. We have Fort Worth Centers on like crazy. Dallas deliveries on. Jeez, we got everybody and their brother online right now, so that's going to be good. Let's plan 3-1 left. I don't know what they're going to do. They might shoot us over to 3-1 right. It's probably a quicker taxi. It's just a little bit less on the runway. We're talking 200-300 feet difference. So 3-1 right. Let's just plug that in for the runway. So I always like to do that first. Go to departures. Go departure here. We're going to go 3-1 right first, and then we are going to get our sim brief plan. I've already planned it. It's looking like Curlo 6 And we are the window right there. We'll dump that in there. You can see that. That's good to go. Hopefully you can see it on your screen, folks. Shelton says, I'm happy Southwest Airlines is stable. Who knows what would be if it never got off the ground. That's exactly right. Again, I don't want to talk about the recent Southwest. This is just between the first about 10 years of operation. So, not this. I'm going to show you that through this series, but we'll kind of hit some milestones as we take it. If you guys want to see that, and that's going to be up to you who are watching this. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That's going to help me figure out and ascertain, do we keep doing this kind of format or not? And it won't be all the time. It'll be a few, maybe once a month we'll do something like this, but we'll see. All right, we got that in there. The star is set. Or excuse me, the star is coming in at Cuervo 1, and we'll check that right now. Let's come over here. Cuervo 1, I'm thinking it's going to be runway 13. Now, 13 right's pulling an 8-knot tailwind. Do not want to use that. Let's see what we got here at San Antonio for the weather. I don't like that very well. They are going real world. They're arriving 4. So San Antonio's using runway 4. So we're going with the Cuervo 14. And again, it's going to be down here to Windu. That's it. That's how fast this flight is, folks. It's super, super fast. We'll click the legs. I want to hold that right now. I'm just going to click activate. We'll execute it. And on this over here, I'm going to actually go to our actions. And then we're just going to unload the fuel. It's just about 6,000 pounds because they wouldn't have 24 grand of fuel sitting there. Be more around 6,000 here. Payload, I'm just going to dump out and empty. I kind of use the traditional PMDG style. Shelton says, I love Southwest Airlines. Absolutely continue the series. Yeah. All right. Well, that just depends. You know, it's going to, you guys will have to speak that watching this. We'll see. All right. So everything is good to go. We'll go to init ref and our zero fuel. We're going to throw in a zero fuel weight of 115.2. So we'll drop that in there right there. Zero fuel weights there. Let's call the fuel truck. We'll get the fuel truck in and we'll get this going. Request refueling. Let's get that going. So refueling truck's on its way. Reserves, I don't want to go underneath 5,000 pounds. Cost index is 30. It's not my fuel I'm burning, so I'm good to go with that. We're going to be cruising at 350. That's too darn high, so I'm going to go way down from there. I'm going to refile my flight plan. We are going to go fetch from the server. It is not 35,000, so we're going to go. That's odd. So let's say 230, maybe 25. 25,000, I'm good with that. Let's click file the flight plan. So I'm going to try to shoot for 250 just because the other wing's way too high. This is such a fast flight, folks. It's literally, how about 51 minutes from gate to gate when we're there. All right, they're dropping the fuel right now. We've got that. We'll drop that in there. We're going to plan out, clear that. We're going to go ahead and clear that. We're going to go ahead and plan. I get it. We're going to go ahead and plan the fuel at 12,000. It's all said and done. We need a minimum of 12.3. Cruise wind is coming at 241, 129. Yeesh. That is really fast. That's really fast. That, well, 129, not 149. So 129, dropped it in there. Good to go. And one limit. Let's hold that right now for now. Steve, what's going on, buddy? He says, hey, Jason, what did you learn from SWA creating Coastal? Any strategy? Yes. Oh, my gosh, yes. Steve, I don't know if you guys realize this. When I created Coastal Airways, the very reason why I created Coastal Airways was I could not fly the SWA banner anymore because of where the airline was going and where it was heading, and it's completely different then I know. And it was the company I knew and loved. It wasn't that company anymore. So I was like, I'm done. I'm going to do my own thing that I've always wanted to do, and be a very realistic airline and model it like the Southwest of old. That's coastal, pretty much. I mean, different strategies in terms of scheduling and stuff like that, but very, very close to point-to-point operation, stuff like that. See where we're getting the fuel? A lot of aircraft in the air. Ooh, there's a coastal MD-80s. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I like that. Representing. Even though we don't go to Dallas, but it's still cool. Yes, so Coastal Airways was modeled after Southwest of old, the old Southwest. At least in terms of, obviously strategy. We're not an ultra low cost, so something like that. We're probably that mid-grade between like a Delta and a Southwest, kind of right in the middle of that. There's a lot of things that went wrong that I thought with the company in later years that I just didn't like. That Herb Kelleher honestly would be rolling in his grave right now. Knowing that man, studying him for years, he would have a really hard time. And it's just tough to see. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the Southwest of old, right? When it was cool. All right, let's do this. I'm not dogging them, but I am. All right, let's do this. Dallas, we've got Dallas Towers on. Regional approaches on. Houston Center's on. Albuquerque, Fort Worth, Jackson Hole. We got Memphis Center. Everybody's on. Regional, which is going to be us. Dallas Tower. Let's see who else we got. We got Dallas Ground. Delivery. Let's call it delivery. 127.9. 127.9. Let's get there. And then we'll start getting this thing boarded. 127.9. Come on. Yeah, not quite Biscoffs, but more than pretzels. 127.9. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I always thought of like a Coastal Airways, like a Southwest in the 90s, right? Fun. People love coming to work. They love their job. They love to do what they're doing. The passengers are having fun. A lot of leisure. You could tell if you look at coastal routes, we're all leisure, right? Leisure market. Heavy leisure market. That's kind of where we're at right now. So, okay, 127.9. Let's go get that done. Okay, we got 11:27 on here. So that's our time. And we got to take off at 7. So we got to get this thing rolling, rocking and rolling here. Let's call them up. See if this works. Let me know if you can hear ATC. Love clearance, Southwest 530, looking for clearance over to San Antonio. I can't hear him. So let me go to my settings, go to audio. Let's go to our speakers, which is going to be that. Click apply.
Correct, expect runway 31 left, contact ground 121.75. To the ground, thanks. Southwest 5896, clearance available, advise ready to copy.
Ready to copy, Southwest 5896.
Southwest 5896, cleared to the Memphis Airport via the Emmett 4 departure, fork transition done as filed. Climb BSA, departure frequency 118.55, squawk 3463.
Now, I couldn't hear a word he said, so I don't know if he said you're number 2 or whatever.
All right.
Couldn't tell you. So we're going to have to wait.
And then as filed, Columbia SID.
But what I am going to do is board. Let's get them boarded.
I got everything but the squawk.
Southwest 5896,
Request.
squawk 3463.
And while they do that, I'm going to look at our
And
performance numbers.
3463 in the box of Southwest 5896.
Southwest 5896, feedback is correct. Contact ground 121.75, expect runway 31 right.
3-1 right, that's where we're going.
contact ground, expect 31 right. Thank you very much, sir.
Maybe. I don't know if he heard us.
And Southwest 530, clearance is available at 5, ready to copy.
We're ready to go to copy for Southwest 530.
Southwest 530, cleared to San Antonio Airport via the Ramble 6 departure. Windu transition domicile. Climb via SID, departure frequency 118.55, squawk 0662.
Okay, San Antonio, Ramble 6, Windu up to climb via the SID. And then it looks like 0662 in the box for Southwest 530.
Southwest 530, read back correct. Contact ground 121.75, expect runway 31 left.
121.75, 31 left, Southwest 530. All right, we got it. Clearance is in hand. We've got that. Let's go and get our numbers down. Do I want a board crew? Nobody. We're on the jet. Steve says, I feel the same way about WestJet up here in Canada. They used to operate like old Southwest, and then a few years ago they decided to chase the AC and went away. Yep. From what they were doing, what they were founded on. Yeah, and you know, companies morph. I understand that, but and I'm not gonna talk about the modern Southwest. We will, but not right now. I want to talk about the warrior spirit, right? When Southwest was where there were fighters, and they had to be, because you know the 4 years they might not even got off the air, you know, got off the ground, and then they came to a 10-minute turn, 10 to 15-minute turn. Lamar Muse, he was a ground operations. He did flight ops, and he was like, we need to spin these things fast. It was his team that did it. I don't think it was him. It was another gentleman. I can't remember his name. It was like Frank something, but he really implemented that 10-minute turn, and he's like, we have to have heavy utilization of these airplanes to get them going. All right, we're going to go 1-3 left, they called, or 3-1 left, excuse me. Conditions dry. Wind, we looked at the wind. It is 100 at, and I'm typing this in my iPad, and I probably could show you. Matter of fact, I should show you, but I'll do that on landing. How's that? And so anyway, that's how it got born. You know, at 100 at 16 on the wind. We're going to go, outside air temperature is 11 degrees. That's Celsius. And 3008 for the altimeter. 30.08. 26 max auto, AC is auto, anti-ice is off, and improved climbs off. And our takeoff weight is going to be roughly 127.3. So let's dial that in, 127.3.
Left bear, South 5514, information call 5R to Birmingham.
Birmingham, huh? All right, I've got trim at 6, so I'm going to write this stuff down because I'm using actually old school pen and paper. Can you believe it?
Southwest 5514, love the
Gotta love it. All right, we're looking at trim at 6. And by the way, this is what I'm using right here. This is an old, can you see it? This is one of our old told cards that I used to have. Old school. Takeoff flaps 1. We're going to go knots 127. Reverse thrust reduction. 67 degrees. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm actually going to shut this guy off. I want to hear what I'm saying. Okay, everything else is good to go, folks. We've got our numbers programmed, so that's good. All right, paperwork's good. I'm going to throw my clipboard over here. Paul, how are you? Hopefully you're well. Good to see you. Or Penn. Sorry, that's Penn checking in probably from Dallas. Yep. Okay, let's do this. Well, we got our numbers in there. We got our clearance done. They're boarding the passengers right now. We got about 30 minutes to get going. We're at gate 16. Hopefully you folks want to fly with us. And I am praying that we have our rudder pedals. Yes. Oh gosh. I could not get this. I have to actually swap out my. I have a HUD, HUD. I have a hub, a USB hub that's not getting a lot of power to it, so it's really screwing around with my peripherals, unfortunately. So I've got to have to replace it. We're gonna do a cold and dark. This is basically, I'm gonna do a full flow right now on our flows. We're gonna throw the yaw damper on, come down here. Come over here, check the crossfeed valve, coming closed, fuel pumps on 1, coming up, ground power is good, Batmaster coming across, just checking the health of the electrical system, looks good, standby power looks good as well. We're going to keep it on ground power for now, galley power is on, coming down over here, we're going to go ahead and set this, seatbelts on. We're done fueling, so we can throw that on. Coming up overhead, window heat on, test it. We're going to go throw the overheat. By the way, Coastal Airways, folks, if you fly Southwest procedures, you're going to be just fine with Coastal because it's pretty much the same. There's some slight differences, but not much. Okay, and a lot of people ask me this question. Southwest goes A's off, B's on, and they do that because in the 737-200 series aircraft, and the 700s, the nose gear with the tow bar was attached to the A pumps. And if you hit the tiller, which is located on the captain's side by their knee, and that tow bar was on the aircraft, it could swing wildly and take people's legs out. So that's why Southwest did that, and they just never stopped because it's just something that they've always done. So that's where that came into play. So we're going to simulate that as well. Okay, we're going to come over here. This is going to be auto. I'm going to go ahead and test an overheat here just to make sure that's good. Tested there. We're going to go flight level 250. Landing altitude is coming up to 809 feet. So let's say 800 even. 8's good. We're on steady there. We're good. And we're going to come up. Now we're going to start to the right, and then we're going to kick them over to the left here once we start. Another weird Southwestism. All right, let's go ahead and pull up. I'm going to pull up the chart. You can't see it just now, but we'll check it out. We've got basically going to be flying that north runway. It says initial climb runways 31 left and right. See the inset, and if I can show you, I'm going to. So give me a second. Let me see if I can pull this up and we can debrief it together while we have some time. I'll give you a brief and we're rocking and rolling. Yeah, so Steve says, that's so cool. I was wondering why Southwest did that. Yeah, that's why they did that. It's just the way that the system was, system's plumbed that way. So it's interesting. Right? Okay, let's go and check the charts. I'm going to go and pull this up for you. Maybe. There it is. Let's see if that works. I'm hoping it's going to work for you guys. We're SID, and the SID we're taking is going to be the Curlo 6. Is it working? Maybe, maybe not. It is working. All right, there we go. Let's check this out. We're going to be doing the inset here, so you can see right after departure, we're going to go 3-1 left, that is. So we got the 3-1 left, they got the 3-1 right. So we're 3-1 left for sure. We got a longer runway there. We're going to basically go to 313 degrees up to float, and then over to Dryden, and then we'll go from there. You can see we have one note here that's saying to us, radar is required. Used for turbojet aircraft only. We're good on that. You can see basically we'll get some vectors from there after Dryden, and that is that. So let's go and set this up. 313 degrees, 313 on the Curlo 6. So I'm going to go heading right here. We're just going to spin this round and round to 316. 313, I thought, right? I don't know what the heck it was. 313. There we go. All right, 313. I've got a speed of 136. So I'm going to spin this up to 136. Set there. We're going to climb via the SID, which basically is going to be under 6,000 over a dry sit, and then haze. So initial climb, they kind of gave us 6,000. So that's our initial climb is 6,000, and that's what we're going to give them. So 6,000 feet, we'll hold that, and they'll probably give us a climb up from there. All right, flight director's on. This is old school flight director, folks, so not the split bars. This is going to be the single bar flight director. This is how we used to fly these airplanes. Really old. Auto throttle is, RTO. Auto throttle is going to be completely an op. Cap ACQ, what's going on, buddy? Curtis, good evening. How are you, Curtis? Welcome aboard. Thanks for checking in. By the way, if you're new, do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button. Really helps us out. And also, hopefully you're enjoying yourself so far. And you can see how this airplane it's pretty old school. I ain't going to lie. It's old school. That's what makes it fun, right? Let's go and check our lights. Kind of doing that out of sequence. That should have been done pretty darn early in the flow. Okay, coming down here. 6:40 on the clock. I'm watching the clock. We're going to throw that up there. All right, 6 on the trim. Let's go and get those trimmed down. I'm going to go ahead and click N1 limit, make sure we're good to go. And we're doing 67 degrees for the assumed. That's going to give us a climb 1 profile. I'm good with that. Flaps 1 coming in there. Our CG is probably around 18-ish. Yeah, 18.4. Top that in there. And I've already got our numbers. 127, 132. I'm going to keep the lower number at 124. We're going to go 132. It's a little higher than that. So 132 will drop over there, and we're going to do 136. That is all good. Okay, coming on back here, let's take a look. This is going to be the first one. You're going to go like this. That's very important if you have a runaway trim, especially. You can kill it with the autopilot and manual. 6 and 6.2 roughly right there. Let's check the throttles. We're going to need these babies. There is no auto throttle, folks. That's good. I'm telling you, I'm like, why do I do this to myself? I don't know. All right, fault APU and up. Let's go flip it over. Check this. 1, 2, 3, straight across. And silence that bell. Check our squibs. The squibs are basically our fire extinguishers. Want to make sure those things are in the green and good. Check the cargo. Good. Coming down to the squawk. Let's go ahead and check the whoop. Let's go ahead and do the squawk code here. The squawk that I have written, hopefully you guys followed me, 0662. 0662. Are they boarded? Yeah, sweet. We're ready to go. All right, Sean Cobb says, good evening, Jason. Southwest, my favorite airline. Have a good friend who works for Southwest here at Cleveland, Hopkins. She really likes it. Her job, especially all the perks. The perks are great. Yes. Good. I'm glad she likes it. It's a good airline, folks. It's a good one. It's one of my favorite airlines, but I'm talking old school, right? Old school Southwest is my favorite airline. Whoa, did you see that guy? Look at that guy. He's doing look at that. He's pulling a nose wheelie thing. That's hilarious. Gotta love it. All right, we got that. Barrow is correct. Let's go through a few things. Let's go ahead and set our... Now, you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to have to set our minimum cleanup altitude, which in this particular case, we're sitting at an altitude of 400 feet. So we're looking at 1,500 on the minimum cleanup altitude. So I'm going to spin this little knob I have. You can see on the altimeter here, this is old school. So this is another thing that Southwest did, and I don't want to get into this because they didn't have these at the time, but the 700, when they got the 700 delivered, Southwest was flying 3 types. They were flying the 200, which is my favorite airplane. I wish somebody is building that for 2020. I don't think they are. I thought Blackbird was doing it or something like that. I don't know if it got delayed or stalled or but is my favorite airplane. Then the 300 and 500 series they had, and those aircraft were six-pack. So this, what you're seeing in front of you, is a six-pack layout. When we fly our MD-80, you can kind of see it's kind of like the same. It's a little old school. So when Southwest got the 700s delivered, they wanted commonality between the 3s, the 2s, and the 7s, because the 7s are drastically different with their glass cockpit. So Boeing came up with this design to keep it very much the same. So that's why you're seeing the six-pack with the Mazzy right in front of us. That's what this is. So this is really jacked up. A way to fly this airplane. But this is how they did it. So when they got the 700s, that is. All right, let's do our pre-flight checks. J foot 709. It's good. Gotta love the GSX nosedive pushbacks. Yeah, that was pretty good. It looks like he's stable now. All right, here we go. We got fire warning, overheat. We checked it. Start levers are cut off. Stab trim is normal. By the way, I'm using a checklist from 2011. Stab trim cutout switches are normal. Lights are tested and checked. Now, how do you do that? We're just going to go over that overhead. Now, we would have done this on the walk around. I didn't do a walk around just yet, but let's go ahead and get all this done. We're going to throw this on. That's coming on. Turnoffs are coming on. Let's get this going. Taxis on. You would throw. This would have been done very early in the pre-flight here, but I'm just trying to do this, and then we'll throw that. Let's go outside. Let's do our walk around inspection. This would have been done. There's a lot of fanfare here. You know, you think first flight, inaugural flight for Southwest, you'd have people here. There'd be employees down here. This was 1971, so security was minimal at best. There was no TSA. There was no, oh crap, we've got to go through. There was nothing like that. It was very, 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 very loose. Which is cool. I mean, it was really cool. You could pretty much walk on the ramp. You know, if you were an employee, nobody'd be like, whoa, what are you doing? Yeah, see, it's windy. You can tell the wind's blowing right to our tail. We'll kind of check the wind, by the way, when we do a start here. We got aircraft all over this place. Welcome to Dallas. They're probably looking at my airplane with the lights going, why are the lights on? Yeah, this is the Desert Gold. This is the first livery they ever came up with. This was this one. And that's why we're doing this. So we're going to fly this livery, and you might see it recorded. I might do a couple live streams, but sometimes you're going to see this recorded as they expand their routes. My plan is to show you the route expansion and fly them on the sim. Even if it is recorded, I might just, give you a little bit of history of the destinations that they flew. But right now, I want you to think intrastate. They're intrastate carrier, which is just in the Texas border. That's all they did. So again, we're going from this crew right now would take this airplane like we're doing. They'd go to San Antonio, they'd do a turn and go straight back to Dallas, and then they would go right back to San Antonio and go right back to Dallas. So they would do this about 4 legs to 5 legs a day. Pretty crazy. And then a PM crew would take over and fly the same thing. And then the next day they were home every night. There was no overnights. This was the overnight back in Dallas. So they would always come back to Dallas and overnight here in Dallas, and then the next day the crew, they probably switch and go Houston. And then they would fly the Houston route. Okay, we got a good jet. Nothing's falling off the aircraft. So that's good. 1, 2, 3, let's turn all of this off. And let's get our APU started. Throw the wing light off, wheel lights off. Let's go throw the APU on. APU's coming to start. Good. We're getting ready to go here, folks. Get the push going. Aviation sound expert says this livery right now is called the Gold. The Desert Gold, it's called. Shelton said, I flew on one of their last 73200s in 2004. Oh man, you lucky dog. What a good airplane. Really, really good airplane. I love that bird. There were more customers for the six-pack. There probably were, I'm sure. Southwest had a lot to do with the design of it, though. They were, yeah, Light Gold, Brazil, Air Berlin, Continental, yep. Janet Aviation, yeah, a lot of airplane, a lot of that. But I think Southwest is a launch customer for the 700. So obviously, when you're a launch customer, you have a lot of say in how it goes. So they did. They weren't the original launch customer, obviously. I believe the 200 was a launch. I believe Lufthansa was a launch customer for the 2s and maybe the 3s. I don't know. I've got to do some research on that. All right, before start, oxygen mass quantity. We've checked it. Eeks. They are on. Navigation transfer switches are normal. Display switches are auto and normal. Fuel. Okay, fuel pumps are on. I'm going to throw those on right now. We've got 12,400 pounds, and we need 12 point, let's take a look. We are going to need, minimum takeoff fuel is set at 10, so 10.7. So we got to make sure we have it that. All right, fuel's good. Passenger signs, they're on. Window heat is on. Hydraulic pumps, A's are off, B's are on. Pressurization is set 25 and set. Flight instruments are 3008 and cross check. Auto brakes on RTO. Takeoff warning horn checked. Park brake is set. Aileron and rudder trim centered. For start checklist is complete. All right, folks, let's get the GSX on here. Let's get going. Let's get the tow hooked up. I'm going to get my frequencies all dialed in, ready to go. How's that? Prepare for push and start. We're going to go ahead and call Dallas ground before we push, and that's going to be 120. Where are you, ground? I'm going to get this set right now. We're going to go 121.8, excuse me, 121.750. Yes, release ground power, please. All right, let me go ahead and get this down. 121.750. Okay, we got to be very strategic, because what I don't want to do is get all crazy in terms of... All right, so we've got ground. We are on the ground frequency of...
Ground, Southwest 2344, Charlie 5.
Now I want tower. Let's call tower 123.7. I'm going to put that in the back end here.
The Charlie Delta Park. Charlie Delta Park inside of 2344.
Okay, tower. Where are you? 123.7. So let's get that going there. 123.7 on the back end. So I'm just going to flip to make sure that's good. That is good. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. So what we want to do is we want to get this thing set right. So I want to make sure that we've got ground frequency here, tower here. We're going to go departure here, and departure, we're going to go ahead and push, by the way, on... we're going to want to swing our nose to the right side.
I'm not sure what happened there. Southwest 5896, give way to aircraft in front of you, and then kind of your right down Bravo. Give away the aircraft in front of us.
11855.
6 Mike Romeo, if you can transition, think about transition over to Mike. Mike 2, a little short, 3-1, right?
No, it's 118, yeah, 118.550. So what I'm going to do is plug that in on this side. So you'll see what I'm going to do here. Let's see if that works. No. Yes. So this is going to be 118 on this side, and it's going to be 118.550. So I'm going to dial this. This is our departure. So when they call and say, call departure, I'm not fiddling around with stupidity trying to figure out my frequencies. 118. That's a mean.
Ground Southwest 2244, come back to
And I'm going to
target
flip that over there.
runway.
And you can
Yes, sir.
see.
Southwest 2244, you can continue to Quebec Park.
Continue Quebec, Southwest
And you can
2244.
flip that over there.
One to the wrong frequency. American 450.
There you go. And I can flip it like this. And we're good.
November 6,
Okay.
Romeo, you can hold position there, stand by for coordination.
Hold here and standing by, 65 kilometers.
All right, folks, you ready to go? Let's go ahead and call ground.
Good evening, Southwest 198, Mike 5 for Mike.
Southwest 1198, look around, taxi via Bravo Park.
Bravo Park, upgrade at Southwest 198.
Beacon's on. AP bleed is on. Let's call him up. What gate are we at? Let's tell him gate. Gate 16. Love ground, Southwest 530, gate 16. Push.
Love ground, Southwest 67, ready for taxi.
Southwest 67, low ground, stand by.
Pop the chocks off the aircraft. Dang it. All right, we gotta wait.
Southwest 530, Christian Start, registration advisory taxi.
Push the center eyes. We'll call you in for taxi. Southwest 530. All right, let's go.
Southwest 67, runway 31, right taxi, Bravo, Mike 1.
All right, looking good. Let's pop the brake and go.
Runway 21, right via Bravo, Mike 1, Southwest 67.
Brakes off. Oh shoot! Hold on. Wait. Okay, what I need to do is turn on my ACARS system. So I got to log in really quick.
Hotel, no, current winds 36016, gusting 25, altimeter 3010.
All right, folks, hold on. Sorry, I had to get this down before I pop the brakes. So please ensure the following aircraft is stationary.
35, switch you, monitor tower 123.7.
No. Stop the.
5896, monitor 123.7.
23.37, Southwest 5896.
Okay.
123.
Pop the brake.
23.7.
I just have to get
Thank you very much, sir.
this working. So it's pending the status. I'm making sure that we're good. And then I'll pop the brake. All right, let's pop the brake and see if we got... All right. We're going to go ahead and set our brake now. And to make sure ACARS was on and working. All right. They pushed us back. We'll go ahead and get this airplane started. Let's do it. We're okay on the air here. Coming up, we've got that on. Duct pressure is looking good. Number 2 is coming to ground.
Ground. November 616 Bravo Golf. Request taxi to General Aviation.
Number 616 Bravo Golf, love ground, taxi to General Aviation.
I love it. Push back without ACARS, PIREP denied.
Charlie.
And now it starts. I didn't even get airborne. I got a PIREP denied right there. All right, 25 hours fuel.
1847, clear the right side to the main terminal.
You're going to see a lot of that stuff going on.
Number 1847 love ground, taxi to parking via Bravo.
Bravo Park, stock 1847, thanks to that.
Yeah.
Okay, oil pressure's off.
Southwest 67, monitor tower 123.7.
Over tower 122.7, Southwest 67.
All right, looking for the rollback. Good rollback on that. Coming on the overhead here. I'm going to go ahead and throw this to on. We're going to isolate. Let's go ahead and fire number 1. Okay, number 1's coming up. We're going to go ahead and throw this on. All right, here we go. All right, there's the pin. I think we can turn out. Yes, we can. 25, fuel's coming in.
They called for push and start 9
There's a light.
Southwest 341, was it? Hey, firm. There you are. Southwest 341, push and start is your discretion of other type.
Oil pressure.
Discretion 341.
Oh, man, I am so thirsty. Good evening, Charlotte. What's going on, buddy? He says, it's nice being here tonight. I've always enjoyed the summer. Yeah, me too.
Here at Mike 5, going to gate 4 if it's open. So number 6, Mike Roman, thanks for your patience. Cross 31.
Light is out. Looking for a rollback on the EGT. There's the rollback. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, EPU. Coming up, checking this. 1, 2, 3, all the way across. Okay, propane's on. Hydro pumps, good. Good. Packs.
Looks like it is in fact open. Southwest 315.
Leads off, coming down. Okay, we're gonna go continuous left side now. Taxi light on, flaps coming 1. Let's check it. There's a coastal MD-80. Coastal representing. Somebody's probably flying the charter run, Dallas Stars or something. Certainly not the Rangers. We've got a few weeks off, which is awesome. All right, folks, let's take a look. Good, rudders are working. Okay, before push 0 fuel weight, we set it N1s. I missed the checklist. Set N1s basically. 67 over 10, 87.8 reduced set. V speeds, I've got 27, 32, 36. 36 is set. Stab trim is set. Minimum clean altitude is set. Flight deck door, all of our doors are closed and locked. Before push check is complete. For taxi, electrical generator is on. Pitot heat is on. Anti-ice is off. Start switch is left. Continuous. Flight controls are free. Start levers are idle. Flaps 1-1. Green light. Good. Let's go ahead and get this airplane in the right direction. So just going to spin out the aircraft, and then we'll call for taxi. All right. When I get a little, let's go. Get the airplane rolling. I'll get the nose pointed in the right direction, and then. We are underway here. Maybe. Stop. Stop! Weren't you working? Alright, stop. My controls are a little weird, so we're going to go ahead and see why. Why is this thing so goofy all the time? Like, I have a tiller here for a reason. And why aren't you working? Like, the tiller should be working right now. So there's a couple things I'm going to do. I'm just going to make sure that the tiller, it's not even sensing it. So I'd have to go look, trace this line back. Oh man, I'm going to have to replace all this crap, aren't I? Let's see if I can get it with the throttle. I mean the rudder here. Nope. I'll spin it this way and see if we can't get a... Just going to do a turn 360 around this way. It's going to be easier. Freaking tiller is
Level
ridiculous.
353, request 0 left on Charlie 6, gate 13 is open.
Southwest 2063, low ground, gate 13 is 55, yeah, 19, that's right.
We'll take 19, Southwest 2063.
Southwest 2063, taxi Charlie, Delta, embark.
Charlie Delta to Mark, Southwest 2063.
Love ground, Southwest 530 taxi.
Southwest 530, low ground, what runway did you get?
They give us 3-1 left.
Southwest 530, taxi 31 left via Quebec, hold short of Delta for traffic coming into the ramp.
Okay, 3-1 left via Quebec. We'll hold short Delta, Southwest 530. All right, we're going to hold short Delta, which is coming up. Boy, if one thing works, the other thing doesn't. It's so annoying. We're going Quebec, so
Southwest 530, 31 left, taxi via Delta Charlie, good way to company parking at 819.
okay, Delta Charlie, and we'll give way to that Southwest for Southwest 530. That's the airplane we're giving way to. We're going to go Delta to Charlie, so it's kind of this Scawampus thing we've got going on. Can I go one way or the other way or just one way? Okay. Okay, this is Quebec, so we're going to go Delta down. We're clearing on that side. Come on, airplane. I really miss my tiller.
Low ground, Delta, Southwest 875, Mike touch for Mike. Southwest 875, low ground, taxi to Park via Bravo. Park via Bravo, Southwest 875.
So we're going to go Delta Charlie. We gave way to the Southwest coming in.
Southwest 341 just pushed off, gate
He's gone.
17, taxi to the hotel.
Should we put our belt on? Yeah. No, we don't need to do that tonight. Let's not do that.
Southwest 341 is on. Southwest 341 taxi to the hotel. Southwest 341 background for hotel after company taxi 31 left via Delta Charlie.
What's going on over there?
Charlie call company Southwest 341.
Boy, Southwest coming out tonight, man. Woo. Big fella's on the grass there. He's like, I'm not waiting for this guy. I'm kidding. He probably has a different scenery than we do. There's another coastal MD-80. Gotta love it. All right, and Southwest, we taxi like we stole it. About 30 knots is on a straightaway, so we're going to do a takeoff check, 10 notification, bring the throttle up, right on back down. Run the checklist. Before takeoff, 10 notification, TARA is on, PAX. Dang it, I have to peek out real quick.
198, clear.
Auto, on.
Southwest 198, low
Bleeds
ground,
APU,
taxi to Park via
off.
Charlie Delta.
Recall. Clear. Alright. Kilo 6 departure. Let's check it out. I got a truck coming in. Don't care. We'll just run the truck over. There's nothing we can do. Welcome to 2020, folks. Boom! There it goes. Made it.
3,100 tower 123.7.
Look at the windsock. Got some brutal wind there. Okay, no auto throttle, folks. So this is old school, like I said. And no VNAV. So it's in op here, and our VNAV is in op. So we've got nothing.
So 3,100 tower 123.7. Monitor tower 123.7. That was 341.
Seatbelts didn't exist in the 1970s. It probably didn't. No, they did. They did. But that's a good thing, right? That's my excuse tonight. That's your aircraft on final. I got aircraft coming in on final. Note the wind sucks.
We're now ready to taxi with hotel. So 683 left down, runway 31 right, taxi Bravo Mike 1. 31 right, Bravo Mike 1 for 7683.
I don't think he heard us through contact tower yet. I don't know if I can do it. We'll see. Tower Southwest, ground Southwest 530, holding short, 3-1 left, ready to go here, Charlie 1.
530.
That's correct.
123.7.
123.7. Okay, so they called tower 1237. All right, so that was right there. So there we go. 123.7. One, 2, 3, 7. Sat. Checked. Dallas Tower. Southwest 530, holding short. 3-1 left, ready to go. Charlie 1.
Southwest 530, RNF flat, runway 31 left, to take off.
Okay, RNAV flat, 3-1 left, clear to take off. Southwest 530.
Correction, that's no, not a flop.
NOLA?
Release 54, visual rewind. Release 54, log tower, runway 31 right, clear land. Tower gauge up 1220, sweet visual 319. So 1220 left tower, runway 31 left, clear land, trying to park front of your arrival.
Come on, I can't turn.
1360, 160, gusting 25.
I can't turn left.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get this thing to spin. There we go. There's an airplane coming in on final.
Ready to gear out the ground 0.75. Ground 0.75, 80. And is that jet 160 going to signature? Jet 160 ground 0.75, correct. 0.75, exit, thanks.
Sorry guys, takeoff thrust set. It's just really screwing me up on that. Cross track 80 knots. We got somebody behind us.
341, we got one more arrival, I'll get you out. 341. And just be ready, please.
Lots of crosswind there. Gear up. Tower Southwest 530 through 1000 for 6.
530 departure to 1855, so
1855, we'll see it. Get that down to 20. Departure Southwest 530, climbing through 3000 for 6.
Tower 350.
Yep. Flaps up. Departure Southwest 530, climbing through 37 for 6.
Southwest 530, original departure, air contact, maintain 8,000.
8000, Southwest 530.
Southwest 11 passing 2,100 for 10,000.
Primary 4211, Andy, original departure, air contact, climb, maintain 17,000.
17,000, primary 4211.
Departure, serial number 252, Charlie Victor 4000.
Okay, we're going to go level change right now.
252, Charlie Victor, original departure, air contact.
I'm going to go lateral navigation. There we go. It should hit that bar V.
Second 40 up. Second 804.
That's off.
Charlie Victor, request direct order.
8000 set. 240 on the speed. Got the throttles. Level altitude here.
Southwest 530, seems like you're off the departure procedure. Just give me a left turn heading 270, please. Maintain 8,000.
Left turn 270. Didn't he say, didn't he say Barvey? So when I'm flying the Curlo 6, oh, I know what he said. That's my fault, folks. You know what? We had the wrong SID.
Flighting 270, contact approach 124.3.
243, 270, Charlie Victor.
Southwest 530 left turn heading of 220, climb to maintain 12,000.
220 12,000. 220 12,000.
Destination 4 departure, contact, climb maintain 17,000.
Yeah, I screwed up.
530, just when you're able, direct Jasper, correction, Jasper able, please.
All right, direct Jasper now, 530.
Primary 4211, contact center 135.45.
3545, thanks, have a great evening, primary 4211.
That was my fault.
Exit 804, contact forward 135.75. Southwest 530, just advise me your direct Jasper.
We're direct Jasper now, we're turning.
Southwest 530, safety climb, maintain 17,000.
17,000, Southwest 530. Let's go. Let's get this thing climbing. 250 on the speed. We're doing a level change climb right now. We've got the throttles. We're direct Jasper. I'm just getting the snot kicked out of us right now. That's the problem. It's bumpy because it's windy. All right, there's 250. There's 10. I had the wrong flipping, and I blew that, folks. I blew it. I had the wrong one. Let me take a look. We're going to Jasper now, so let me go ahead and pull that departure out. And I should have verified when he's like, you know, he's set to fly the Ramble 6. Son of a gun. Yeah, guys, that was way off. All right, climb 1's coming deleted. It doesn't even matter, but we're going to delete
Frequent
that.
departure, Southwest 683, climbing on the,
All right, we got Jaspa. Once we're at Jaspa, then it's Windu. We're fine.
We
screwed it up.
Contact 18,900,000, please.
9,000,
All right, climb check coming up. Sorry, guys.
Contacts, actually, they didn't take the tag. Just stand by.
Prime 4211, back with you. 1,700 for
Pressurization
1,700.
checked.
Primary 4211, contact center 135.45.
3545, primary 4211.
Southwest 550, contact center 135.75.
135.75.
Southwest 341, climbing, maintaining
135.75. 135.75. 135.75.
1985 is at
All right. Got it. We're good. I screwed up. Should have took off and went the other way. That could have been a disaster. That's my fault, man. I'll take the blame for that. All right, let me call him up. Center? Isn't it center? Altitude alert 17,000 coming up. Center Southwest 530 checking in 17,000.
$250.
250 on the altitude 530. Okay, 250 coming up. We're going to go ahead and stick it there. We're going to go level change again because we're going to go increase our speed now. We'll hold about 280 on the speed. So basically, I'm going to command the throttles. It's going to pitch up and hold that 280. And here we go. It's crazy. There's a lot. You can see how busy you are. All right, 18,000 feet. Lights are off. That's off. Standard. 2992 set. Okay. All right, we're climbing.
341, 600, 179.
Shoot, it's +2. Here come the heat. If this was really in June, I wouldn't have to worry about that, but it's +1 degrees.
Maintaining 300 knots or less in the climb until advised. Thank you. It's going to be 300.
Ja, what's going on, buddy? This is just departed Dallas, huh? Nice. Yeah, it's crazy. Sure could. Climb up to about 300. We'll give him 300. We'll push it. Okay, the winds at San Antonio, the weather right now, and I got to get ready for it, folks. It's 3607, gusting 17.
Weather 683 is 15,000, climbing 17,000. 683 portion, maintaining level 240, maintaining 250 knots until advised. All right, back down to 250 knots, 683, and up 240.
Time is 0251. Sky conditions are 10 miles visibility. Few clouds at 2,000 feet. Scattered at 050. Temperature is 1707. Altimeter.
67, traffic to center 126.42.
3002. Okay, you know you're busy. There's an altitude alert, 24 for 25. Get ready for the throttles. You know, I should show you the throttles because I'm going to be all over this dang thing the whole flight. Oh yeah, wind shear could be a threat. We've got gusting 17, so yeah, that's going to be always a threat. There's 17,000. Here comes the speed. We're going to drop it down just a little bit. We want to maintain best forward speed, he said, so let's go ahead and give him...
Forward center unit 305 is at 10,000 climbing to 17,000.
These are off.
Climbing to level 290 at 395.
0.74. I know what I have to do. I'm going to have to pull this old USB card out. I mean this new one, and put my old one in because my old one's got a power adapter to it. So it's gonna demand. I gotta watch this barber pole. I gotta slow it down just a little bit. We could probably go up to 0.78 ish, but I don't want to be hitting the clacker. So that's about what you're gonna get from me right now. All right, so progress page. We're looking at top of descent coming up. Cruise is going to be 250.
I believe I asked you to maintain your 300 knots or less.
Yes, we are 271 knots.
Okay, Southwest 341, my number.
Mach point 68, indicating 310.
Copy, you can increase to like Mach 7.5.
I'll see what we can do. Currently 325 would be about our best indicated speed. We haven't quite split Mach number yet. We'll try 75.
Copy, give me a best forward. American forward, turn left 15 degrees, please.
15 degrees left, or my God,
Really, dude? It should be on strobe. Why am I not seeing it? Okay. Whew.
Record on the lead speed restriction. If you want to speed up once you get past this other guy, I'll get you around.
Speed restriction for my God, 1, our indicated cruise speed is going to be Mach 83.5.
Oh.
Copy, let's speed up. We'll get you past this guy you're bumping here. The traffic says you're 1 o'clock, about 2 miles now. He's at 21.7 and climbing 350.
Perfect, we are already at 350 and speeding up to like 84. For sending the water 3568, climb, maintain 17,000.
Water 3558, climb, maintain level 370.
370, water 3568.
Water 3558, give me your best forward speed and climb.
Okay, we got winder.
For decline, water 3568.
We got windu.
41, the lead speed restriction.
Below. Outlaw. Marks. We got marks. Pig out. From there, it looks like runway 4 we're landing. So we're going to have to go all the way around. Corvo. Texan. 8,000. And Jeffrey. Marty. And then and then we'll get vectors around there. It looks like we should be punching into Houston's airspace shortly. Yeah, Houston Center is online. I don't know which one they're going to give us, so let's wait on the center release. But right now we're stable. We don't have, like I said, we're basically on altitude hold and we're controlling our throttles ourselves. And this is how they did it. And they would be basically flying VOR to VOR to VOR to VOR over to San Antonio. But you're really busy, and runway 4 probably going to give us. It's going to be step down, step down, step down, step down. So we can do it. I mean, the heck.
It's, I'd say southwest of Pablo Eagle, if you have that.
I got you. Contact the forward center on 12077.
109.7. I'm just going to plug that in right now. 109.7 on this one.
Check again, American 263, 14,000 for 70,000, about northwest of Cowboy Hill.
223, contact level 370, received a 250 knots and climb.
370, reduced to 250 knots, American 263.
Oh, man.
63, send to the 76, off altimeter 3004.
Send me to the 76, off altimeter 3004, 768.
Okay, let's look at NOTAMs really quick. We've got future I don't care about. I'm just kind of looking. It doesn't look like there's any major issues going on. Is San Antonio tower on? Nope, looks like Houston's going to take us all the way in. Boy, I walked in a firestorm. What's going on here? Is it like a... I got the seatbelt sign on, by the way. I think it's going Friday Night Ops. It looks pretty smooth now. We're going to turn them off. Okay, we're at Windoo. We're on the arrival now, folks, into the airport. I'm going to show you the Corvo 1 arrival. At Windoo, we're going to below. And then we got outlaw marks between 13,000 and looking at our prog, we got about 78 miles top of descent. 126.42, see ya. 126.42. 26.
Houston Center 12642, Southwest Center, Roger. New Braunfels Tower closed at 7 p.m. locals a couple hours ago. So you can monitor advisory, and if you don't like flying area, you call out on this frequency. Alright, Walkaround.
Oh, it is tomorrow. All right, how
Houston Center, Southwest 683, level 240. 683, Houston Center, Roger. And you're expected to send me the arrival, correct? That's correct. 683, Roger, normal speed. Alright, normal speed, 683.
Houston Center, Southwest 530, checking in, flight level 250.
Southwest 530, Houston Center, Roger.
There's a stadium game tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Boston versus Kings. There's 4 of them, I think. Somebody really cool. I think they're all at the Met. Are they all at MetLife? It's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to that. All right, we're clouding up here. We're gonna get in some wicked winds. We're gusty when we land, so expect bumps on the descent. And yeah, here we go. We're gonna be flying a lot of stick and rudder stuff. I can't turn left. I mean, can't turn right, unfortunately. I don't know. My tiller's not working, so I think after this flight what I'm going to do is pull this computer out. I'm going to pull this card out of it. I'm going to put my old one back into it, my old USB hub, because then I could plug in a SATA power behind it and really give it a good boost, because that's what these USBs need. I think that's what's happening, is that these USBs are not getting the power they need. So it's kind of like off and on. It's intermittent, which is kind of a bummer. But that's how it goes. Right? All right, Outlaw 112.8. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. So Outlaw VOR, you can see I've tuned the VOR in here. I'll throw the course down there so you can see what's going on. That's the VOR we're headed. We're tracking that VOR. This is how they would have navigated via this. But, you know, in today's day and age on a VATSIM network, you couldn't. I mean, you'd have to almost be in a 200 to do this, which would be fun to do, but I'd have to have a slant. It would be on our flight plan. It would have to be definitely minimum equipment. So yeah, so we got Outlaw coming up. We're on the arrival. I'll show you this arrival, and we're doing the Corvo 1. Well, we have a little break in the action here. This is kind of where we are. We're between Outlaw. We just passed this. We're coming into Outlaw, and then we got marks between 15 and 13,000 there. And then we'll go to pig out between 280, 13, and 11. And then Corvo. Then we'll break off out of Corvo. We'll go Texan, Jeffrey at 7. What was that? Algree. And then over to McCartney at 6,000. And then from there, we can do an RMP approach, or he can vector us in for the ILS. If he gives us the option, I'm probably going to do an RMP and just do a vertical descent. Depending on the weather, it's looking like the weather right now, few clouds at 2,000, scattered at 5. It's just gusty a bit, so we'll be prepared for that. I am going to go ahead and plug in the data, so let me see if I can do this with you on here while we got a little break in the action.
DILLO, Joint Lake 3 arrival, LAIKS 3 arrival.
All right, let's do this thing.
Direct to the DILLO, and then direct to the Lake 3 arrival for the 112.
All right, we're in a 700 airport search coming in. That is the wrong thing we're going to do. We're going to go landing en route. San Antonio, runway is 4. Conditions dry, winds 360 at 7.
And landing north.
Really?
So 570 quarter, 1 arrival, runway 4 transition. San Antonio altimeter 3002.
Okay, we'll descend via the Corvo 1 and expect for 4. Southwest 530.
Set up 683, can take off, approach 9.0. 9.0 for Southwest 683.
7. What are we looking at here, folks? We got 35 miles. All right, QNH 3002.
You said north departure, that 36.
Auto off, all done. Auto, no credit. We'll go full credit, all operative. We're looking at 122. We're going to add more. We're gusting, what's the gust? 17. So let's do 8. Calculate. Oh, you piece of crap. 30.02. So we got 137 on the speed. Landing flaps 30. Speed's going to be 137 knots. Got it. It looks like auto brake is 0. We're not going to have auto brake. They didn't have an auto brake in the 200, and we're not going to have one now. So. No auto brakes. We'll go manual braking, okay? So we'll get it below 100, and then we'll pull the brakes. we'll get on the brakes. And hope to heck we can taxi all right. Now, Monday, folks, we're off. So, by the way, hopefully you hit the subscribe button. You got something out of this. This is busy for me. You know, when you got minimum autopilot, you're really, really busy. So Monday, what I expect and what I intend to do is a full Coastal Airways day in the Caribbean. I'm going to start at 6 a.m. with you, and we're going to go all the way to the end of the day. So it is a full airline schedule. It's part 121. You're going to see a full 6.5 to 7 hour day. It's going to be a long one, but I kind of anticipate that. Hopefully you'd want to see that. Devils versus the Flyers Saturday night. Good. You're going fishing tomorrow, Max. That's awesome. By the way, I'll get you your EFOM tonight. If you're done with your ground school, and I think you are. You have just a few more modules to go, and you're all set. All right, let's go ahead and plug this down. And we're going to bring it down. I've got to kind of really zero in on this because what is doing the vertical is me. It's not the autopilot, folks. It's the pilot. So we set this down to the low end at 13,000. We're going to hit marks between 15 and 13. Pig out is at 280. So we're going to set it at 280 and start our descent, okay? When we get there. We're not there just yet. I'm actually going to start about 4 or 5 miles before top of descent just because I want to make sure we're there, right? I want to be below and not high or above or anything like that. I'd rather be lower on the profile than higher on the profile. What am I missing? Otherwise, I got to hit the lav for sure. Descent check coming down. Altimeters, bugs, VRF, and V target. We're going to go ahead and set that right now. I'm just going to set that flaps 30 with a correction of 8. All right, good. So, would you guys want to see Sunday? It's New York versus New York. Okay, cool. Would you guys want to see that Monday night, Monday day, early in the morning? You want to see a full day? Ah, shoot! And one thing I've got to do is set 786, which is going to be our bottom altitude for our. It'd be basically. Prague page 7.2, still coming down. Top of descent coming up. I'm going to go ahead and force it sooner.
Houston, sir, number
786. 5 miles. Let's go down here. We're going to hit level change 280 on the speed. Throttle's coming idle. Watch what happens. Let's call them up. Seatbelt signs on. Houston Center, Southwest 530 on the descent. Vacating 250. We're coming down. Shelton says I'll be up for the flight. And you're going to be training, Max. Yes, Max will be training. Full day sounds fun. Yes. Maybe for you, yeah, it's a lot of work. But hopefully you've enjoyed this flight so far. Even though I really botched that departure up. I was thinking, it was like, wait a minute, that ain't right. What did he say? What I should have done is he said it. That is the person you just heard is a controller in LA. Okay, folks, we're on the descent here. Like, take a look at these seats, folks. You're gonna love it. Look at these puppies. That's old school Southwest. That's really cool. Look at the bulkhead. Gotta love it. Good stuff. Okay, so we're on level change. So the airplane's going to hold 280 on the speed. All right, and I'm going to go ahead. You can see we're going to be perfect right around that 13 range. You can look at that. See it? We're about 1,000 feet above profile. That's fine. Like I said, I mean below profile. I'd rather be below than above today because we can always level up, burn a little bit. It's not a sin to drag it in, so we're going to do that. Gotcha. Max said full day of flying sounds great. Yeah, we're going to be in the Caribbean with the coastal flight. We'll be resuming our MD-80, I believe, next week. I've got a couple MD-80 flights scheduled. 296. Thank you.
South 530 at McCurdy. Clear RNAV Zulu runway 4 approach.
Cat McCurdy will clear the RNAV Zulu runway 4 of Southwest 530. All right, so we're going to do McCurdy. We're going to add that in here, just going to give us some guidance. So let's go to arrivals, and we're going to go the RNAV 4. He said 4 Zulu, correct? The RNAV 4 Yankee or the 4 Zulu. And I'm assuming it's the Zulu. I've assumed way too many times. Let me just look really quick at what the other one looks like. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the Zulu. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my pin board. Okay, McCurdy is going to be 6,000 feet. So we're going to do the Zulu 4. We're going to be running this McCurdy. Okay, we're going to execute that. We're going to go to our legs page. We got Jeffrey, McCurdy doubled. And we're just going to go ahead and drop that over there. 6,210, and then we are going to be zipping in ourselves, all right? So it's going to be all manually flown, folks. This is going to be pretty wild for you to watch. We have to be on it, okay? So McCurdy at 6,000, 210 on the speed. Let's go in and get the configure this ready to go. This is just going to help me visually fix, dumped, 15, over, 5, 3, legs. Got it. Just put a ring around there, a couple rings. You can see we're very close to the airport. Okay, we're at 14,000 feet now. We're doing, we got 42, 35, 2,000 over NAD, or NABD, whatever. Corvo back, we're at marks. We're going to go down to 11,000. So when we hit marks, we're there. We're going to drop down to 30. We're going to drop down 11,280 on the speed. Set 11, 280 on the speed. There's 13,000.
You never crossed 318 from last you played there in 12-17. Bye. Have a good weekend.
All right, there's 18,000. We're going to go that 2992 straight up. I mean, our lights coming on. Taxi lights on. Wing lights are on. All set, ready to go. Run the checks, descent checks. Altimeter's bugs are set, cross-checked. VRF and V target, we've set and noted. PAX, auto, start switch. Altitude alert 11,000. Keep it going. We're going to go down to Texan at 8. Level change on. Level change on. 250. We're going to start slowing it down now. Okay, we got to start slowing down because once we're at Corvo, we're going to dump it out. We're going to go 250 on the speed. The airplane's going to start pitching up. We're still going to stay at idle thrust here and let the airplane do its work. Okay, so it's going to start slowing down. Now, we're slowing a little bit early, which is fine. Texan at 8, Jeffrey at 7, McCartney at 6, 210 on the speed. Descent checklist is complete. FMC is telling me I'm going to clear it. Clear that message. There we go. Heading select coming in through 10,000. Let the flight attendants know. Let's say flight attendants prepare the cabin for arrival. Okay, once we land here in San Antonio, we're landing runway 4. So we got 8,500 feet of runway, plenty. Auto brake is going to be off, so we'll have to manually get on the brakes. We'll go ahead. We're probably going to have to turn to the left, which is fine. The right I can't turn. Can't make rights. No, I can't make. Yeah, I can't make rights. All right, hang in there. It's going to be bumpy, by the way, folks, down the way. You'll be able to bug me the whole time with questions. Yeah, you bet. You'll get the key. You'll get your e-phone tonight for sure. Okay. 037 on the course. Folks, hopefully you're getting something out of this. Hopefully you're learning. You know, we got 8,000 and above, so we're going to level off at 8,000. That's fine. Remember to get on the thrust. Once the aircraft decides to level off, we got to push it up. Okay, we're plus 15 degrees. Don't worry about any icing. We are getting the snot kicked out of us. It's bumpy. We knew it would be. It's gusty. It's bumpy. So, welcome to Texas. Okay, here's our level off. Here comes the throttles. About 66% should be good enough to hold good thrust for us. Level flight. Let's see what that gives us. And this is called flying by the numbers, folks. Let's bump this number 2 up just a little bit. There we go, about right there. Try to sync them as best you can. Really hard with throttles that are touchy. So when we get to...
109.0.
So when we get to Texan, we'll start dropping down to 7,000. We'll have to start slowing down to 210. So you can see this 15 nautical miles. See that? We're getting close. So I want us to actually slow down the aircraft just a little bit. So we hit Texan. We're going to drop to 7. And then we really got to concentrate on altitude and all good stuff. All right, there's 15 nautical miles right now, so now's a good time to start transitioning from that. We're going to go 7,000 feet, and we're going to go this. We're going to drop this down to 210, and then throttles to idle. And
1005.
is San Antonio on? Okay, there's 7,000 and above. It's going to be nice. We're going to be able to slow down to flap up maneuvering speed about 210. So I'm going to hold 210 on the speed here. Okay, that's... All right, runway 4, clear land, Southwest 530. Okay, here comes 7. You can see how the airplane's just trying to level off. It's going to grab 210, and then it'll start our descent again. And then we're looking at 6,000 over McCartney, and that's kind of where I'm going to have to start focusing. We got 6,000, 210 on the speed. I'm going to switch over to the RNAV, take a look. Vertical guidance is ours all the way in. So at McCartney is 6,000. There's 210. Here comes the descent. Then we got confirm Gala. Got it. 6,000 all the way. Hit Gala, 5,100, 4,200, 3,500, and then we're in. So speeds are going to be, you know, we could descend via the level change, which I'm doing right now. There's 7,000 feet. Here comes the speed. 6,000. Level change on. Okay, 122.8. Okay, you can see we're descending. Hang on. I gotta change this to 122.8. And I'll give you there so you can see me throwing the yoke all over the place. Alright, I'm going to throw this down. We're on level change. We're 210. 210 of speed. McCartney's coming in from McCartney. We're going to go ahead and start our descent. Flaps are going to come down. Ready? Flaps 5. We're going to slow 1. We're going to keep it at 210. Right there. Flaps coming in. Here comes the level off. Here comes the thrust. About 60, 66%. Now I'm going to start slowing down to 190 on the speed here, okay? So this is just me now controlling the thrust. There's 6,000 over to McCartney. Once we hit McCartney, we're going to go confirm down 5,100. Stand by, get ready. We're going to go ahead and throw 5,100. We're doing a slow descent right now. The speed's down. You can see our Mazzy up speed. That's our flap up maneuvering speed, which we've got flaps 5, so we're good to go. We're higher than the speed, so we're doing good. We're getting the snot kicked out of us, but otherwise. All right, altitude alert. Here comes. There's 6,000 over McCartney. Speeding up. Once we hit McCartney, let's go ahead and drop it down. Vertical speed, I've got it. We're going to go about 600, 650. Let's see how we do here. Throttle's coming back. Looks good. They said 6,000 and above on this one. So let's just keep it nice and slow descent here. How's that? We're going a little low, below profile. Once we hit Gala, it's 5,100. So we should be at above 6,000 over confirmed. That's fine. There's no terrain here, but technically speaking, I'm just doing a slow descent here to 5,100. We hit Gala 5,100, then after Gala it's 42. All right, here it comes confirmed. Now we can drop down to 51. We're almost there. Airport's going to be off your wing here. It's behind us actually, right there. Okay, airspeed looking good at 190. So Gal is 5,100. Once we get to 5,100, we're going to go ahead and drop it further. We're going to go down to 4,200. Set, ready, here we go. 4,200. We'll bring it down about 700 feet a minute. It's going to be about 3 miles, and I'll start slowing down. Right now, let's go. Crank it down about 700, 800 feet a minute, dropping down. And give me flaps 5 speed. .42 set. Speed's coming down. Heading select coming in. Let's go, airplane. .42, it's beautiful. Speed's coming in just a little bit, about 40, 50. Once we hit that, it's going to be 35 at Jarek. 42, then 35 after Jarek. Let's go 35. Here we go. 35. Set 800. Shoot. Looking at Navy at 2,000 feet. Speeds up. 35 set. Speed's coming in. See if we can hold it at 60. Good on speed. $2,000 on the descent here. Okay, coming to 2. 35, waiting. 2,000, here we go. 2,000 set. Got the speed. We're going to wait to that 5 nautical mile ring. They said 3,000. We're going to be good. Got the runway in sight. Okay, let's go ahead and push this down. About 800, 850, 900. Okay, now I'm going to do something interesting. Okay, I'm going to zero it out. And then I'm going to do this to see, you see that banana? That green banana is what we want to vector in. So we're going to go ahead and vector and see if we can't get this vector on the runway edge. So speed's coming back down. There we go. Now we're going to have to decrease our descent rate. There you go. We've got it 5 nautical miles. I got the aircraft. Gear down. Flap 15. We'll slow 15 speed. And we've got idle thrust. Check winds. Winds are going to come off to the left. Okay, we got to wait till we get out of this amber on the Mazzy, and then we can kick it down even further. Looking at 137 on the speed here. Austin traffic, Southwest 530 on final runway for San Antonio, sorry. Okay, we're out of it. Flap 30, slow speed, 137. Okay, landing checklist. Roger, I got it. My plane. Okay, good. Here comes the thrust. I'm just going to hold altitude. Get that speed up. There we go. All right, descent. We ready for a landing? Landing check. Speed brakes. Arm green light. Landing gear down 3 green. Flaps 30, 30 green. Speed's good. Here comes the trim. Coming down on speed. Wind check coming in hard. It's blowing me off course a little bit on left side. There we go. Now you don't want to chase your speed because you know you're going to be all over the place. So as long as you don't go below that 137, you're good. I'm waiting for the, there, see that downdraft? We're hitting some updrafts and downdrafts and everything like that. Here comes the speed in. 12, 13 knots right now. Check. Okay, deployed. I got the brakes. All right, welcome to San Antonio, folks. The first Southwest flight ever. Not bad. Did it old school too. It's kind of what separates, you know, the aviators in life. If you could fly an airplane like that, you know, manually like this, you don't have to. A lot of it's manual. I mean, you can see how busy they were. Can you imagine doing this? 4 or 5 legs like that? My goodness gracious. That's not easy. Get this thing turning. Sorry, I do apologize. The turning and radius is jacked up. Without my tiller, it's screwed up. It's saying it's plugged in. It's just not sensing it. I don't know why. Let me see if I can't get it to kind of look at the controls here, because it's jacked. It should not do that. Like, where is my tiller? I'm going to say all. I wonder if is it tiller? How do you, is it, I don't know. Is it rudder? It's not rudder. It's actually should be tiller, right? Search by input. I don't think it's going to do that because it's a dumb. You guys know, is it rudder tiller? No. Search by name. Let's go rudder. Toggle auto rudder, set auto rudder, rudder access. Where's the tiller? What would it be under? What do you folks think? Would it be under tiller? Or what? I don't know. Let's see if we go rudder. Rudder trim, rudder left, rudder right. How about nose? How about nose wheel steering axis? Do you think this is it? No, of course not. All right, I'm just gonna have to screw with this later. Let's go ahead and land. I mean, let's go ahead and taxi in. Just annoying. Nose wheel steering axis. Okay. All right, Paul, let's check that out. Nose wheel steering axis. How's that? Let's get the flaps up. Well, welcome to San Antonio, folks. Hopefully that was fun and exciting for you. You can see how busy you get when you're doing old school flight like this. I can't believe they did this crap. It's nuts. I remember, you know, with the VA, we used to do this all the time. We would fly it like this all the time. You know, look at that MD-80. Look at those two. Pretty cool. Let's go buy one. Was late getting into the stream here, but caught your approach to landing. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for checking in, Hatchet. How are you? Good stuff. Tiller on here is labeled nose wheel steering. Oh, let's try that because I don't know where it went. So I'm gonna go control options really quick. Let me just try this because it's bugging me. Like I can't turn with it, and I think I know why. Yeah, nose wheel steering, right there. Yeah, it is, but it's not gonna work. Yeah, it's just not sensing it. That's why. And it's because of that stupid USB I have. I'm pretty sure of it. So what I'm going to do is when I'm done here, I'm just going to pull that old one out, put the new one in, and then be done with it. All right, here we go. Let's go. Time to taxi true Southwest fashion. We got to get in. 30 knots. Rotate. Kidding. Yeah, the problem is I installed a new USB hub, and the stupid USB hub doesn't have enough power. So I think that's what's happening. It's just not pushing it. Let me go ahead and check. Looks good. San Antonio traffic. Southwest 530 crossing 31 left San Antonio. Lights coming on. Strobes. Wow, so many crashes into me. Alright, I want to turn like minimal turns if I can, possibly. Here's a gate. I think I know where a good gate is. How many MD-80s does Coastal Airways have, folks? It's that right turn just kills me. Just doesn't want to go. That's 16. Don't hit my airplane, please. Ten. See that? I can't turn. It's terrible. Patrick, don't watch. He's watching. He's like, that's a lot of fuel. Yep. That's what you got to do. Asymmetrical turning here. Sucks. Okay, Alpha 10. Let's get in here. There we go. Well, we'll get it in here. I'm not turning that way, so you're out of luck. You're out of luck, lady. Parking brake is set. Guess what I forgot? Stupid APU. All right, I turn the APU on. While they do that, I'll go ahead and shut number 2 down. All right, let me get your comments here, and then we'll shut the next one down. I bet whoever made the USB hub is the same people who made the hockey sticks. The same amount of times in games you see sticks disintegrate is astonishing. That is true, right? One slap shot and it's all over. Nice park job. She put me way up. Gosh. Wow, that's a pretty livery anyway. I like it. Getting the APU fired up. And I'm going to just do this really quick. Stop it right there. That's probably better. Yeah. A little bit better anyway. Okay, APU on. Let's go ahead and shut down number 1. Comma closed. All right, let's go ahead and set the chocks. Chocks are set. Let's go ahead and clear this. We'll go ahead and call GSX. We'll tell them to deboard us. Let's see what happens. Here comes the gate. Welcome. You did it. Woohoo. We'll get the light off. Okay, anti-collision light is off. We'll get the doors open. And then they got 10 minutes to turn the aircraft before the next... I don't know how they did that either. But they did it. I don't know how, but they sure did. That should have been off. Those are off. Packs off. We'll get the air conditioning system on the aircraft. We're done. How do you like that? Why is that doing that? So, folks, let me ask you. In the comments below, let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you like seeing old school, the historic aspect of Southwest. If you want to see more of these flights, let me know. If you're new to the channel, I might have to move this airplane up a little bit. We'll see if it kind of retracts it weird again. It might. I moved a little, I stopped a little too far after I slewed it. Nope, looks like we're hooked up to the gate. Okay, good stuff. All right. Hopefully you have a good rest of the weekend. Yes, I want to request ground power. So we'll get the ground power hooked up to the airplane. I am going to request the air conditioning cart coming in as well. And last but not least, we'll disconnect that. So Monday, figure a full flight. And I haven't confirmed it yet with the family, but it'll be full. It'll be a full flight if we do it, and it'll be coastal areas in the Caribbean. We've got some really cool. I'll show you the lineup. You ready for the really quick? The lineup. It's gonna be a 737-600. We're going to be taking off out of St. Martin. So we got St. Martin, St. Croix. It's probably about a 40-minute flight. We go St. Croix, St. Thomas, 45 minutes. Then we go from San Juan. Then we go from San Juan to BGI. I believe that's going to be somewhere south, Barbados. And then we got Barbados to St. Lucia. You do not want to miss St. Lucia, folks. St. Lucia is crazy. It is crazy to land in that airport. It is a tight airport, really tight. We're going to come down a mountainside. It's a lot of fun. Check that out. And then the last flight, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legs. Total time, 9 hours and 45 minutes with an FDP, 9 hours and 45 minutes with a flight time of just around 6 hours. So 6 hours total time. Think about 7 to 8 hour total day. Hopefully we can do that, and we'll end up overnight in Curacao. So that's what we'll end up doing. All right, Hatchet 182, see you in the mix. Mix it up see you mix it up every now and then is cool. You always have a good time, a good mix of aviation. Yeah, really kind of what I want to do here is take this Southwest historic routes and just kind of go through the history for the first 10 years. You know, our next flight will be, I'll show you. Now, we're not going to fly, we won't fly we'll fly the route back. We'll go San Antonio back to Dallas, and then we'll do Dallas to Houston, Houston back to Dallas. So I'm going to show you those four, that initial 1971 opening flight. I might do it recorded, so it might not be live streaming it all the time, but then if we don't do that, you'll get to see cool takeoffs and stuff like that over the wings, and we'll have some post editing. Boy, that's a beautiful airplane. 494, that aircraft should be at home. Actually, it's in that airplane's in Westchester. We'll fly it in a couple weeks. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor if you're new, subscribe. Hopefully you got something out of this and you saw me sweat today. So hopefully that was good. All right, folks. We'll see you Monday.